Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Joel Madden, and this is Artist Friendly. Wishing you all a very happy holiday and Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a nice Christmas break wherever you are. I hope you're getting a good holiday in with your friends, your family, and you're feeling loved. This episode, we're celebrating Christmas and the holiday season with social media star, singer-songwriter, and content creator, Gavin Magnus. Let's go. Gavin.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, you're young as shit.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. 16?
Yes.
17?
16.
16.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
March 26th.
Oh, are you a Pisces?
Aries.
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 I'm a Pisces.
Really?
March
When's
11th.
your birthday? March 11th. Okay.
So you're going to be 17 in March. So you still have a ways to go.
Yeah, like what? What is that? Like four?
You're like a
4
true
months?
16.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
Prime
did you move
16.
to LA? How old were you?
13.
Wow.
13. Yeah. No, 12. I think I was 12 years old when I first moved to LA. When YouTube first became big for me. That's when I started popping on there, and then we were like, "Oh my goodness, this is so hectic. We need to get closer to the city." So then we moved in that area, which was closer, but still not too far from where we needed to be.
Yeah.
So it was
Where'd you grow
convenient
up?
for us. I grew up here, Orange County area. I was born in I think Santa Ana. I grew up there for 2 years, and then I moved to New York. I moved to Long Island, Lindenhurst. I lived there for probably 4 and a half years.
Why'd you move there?
Because my dad had got a job there, and my dad's family is there. So we lived there for 4 years, four and a half years. And then we would actually still be there if it wasn't for Hurricane Sandy. But Hurricane Sandy, since we were right by the coast, it took out our house.
Oh, did it?
So, yeah. So, that was a terrible process. And then
Did you guys have insurance?
I'm not sure. I was 6 years old.
Okay. You
I have
weren't
no
asking
clue.
that question.
Yeah. But I remember it was almost a week-long process. We were staying in hotels with power out, and there were hundreds of people in these hotels, and we're all under the tables, and there's no power in the whole city, and it was the most insane experience I've probably ever been through. And then I moved back to California after that. My dad had stayed in New York for I think a year and a half, 2 years, because he still had a job there. And then this was before I was doing social media, so I was probably 8 or 9 at the time, maybe 7.
Yeah.
And then after that,
That's young, dude.
yeah, after that, my dad had moved back, and then we bought a house in Orange County, and then that's when I started picking up the cameras and stuff, and I started getting into social media, and I was 9 or probably 10 years old, maybe. Yeah, I think I just turned 10 years old. I think I started when I was 9, and I was vlogging on my iPod 3 or whatever it was.
Right.
The most terrible camera. The phone was the size of half my hand, and I remember I got an iPod for Christmas, and I just started videoing it, and I would go to school and I would be oh, you guys, I would talk to all my friends. I'd be you guys want to come over later and we can film a YouTube video. And I was doing that for probably maybe a year or 2. And I was just having fun being myself, just filming the stupidest stuff ever.
Yeah.
And I think one of my videos popped off. I was doing some stupid stuff, and it got maybe 100,000 views.
Okay.
And 100,000
real.
views when you have 2,000 subscribers is 100 million views.
100,000 views is good for me.
Yeah.
When I get 100,000 views on something, I go, oh, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So I was looking at that and I was oh shoot, that's insane. And I was 10 years old. And so I kept doing it for another year. And then when I was 11, I had met a friend named Piper Raquel.
Mm-hmm.
And we had done YouTube together for a few years, and we just blew up together. And then we went our separate ways eventually a few years later. Then I was doing my thing, and then obviously we still film together now. And ever since then, man, social media has just been my life, and music and everything like that. And then I eventually jumped into the music scene when I was maybe 11 years old, 12. I started taking vocal lessons. I've been singing. There's a video actually when I lived in New York when I was 5 years old. I was listening to Baby by Justin Bieber, and I had a dog tag on. I had the Bieber bowl cut, and I was wearing his blue flannel.
Yeah.
And I was dancing on the table, and I was this tall, singing Baby by Justin Bieber. I thought I was him. And then when I had moved back to California, I started taking vocal lessons and really trying to make music a thing too, because I'd always had such a strong love for it.
Yeah, you love music.
Yeah. And then I made my first song when I was 12. 12, I think. It was called Crush, and it was some like goofy pop song. But that goofy pop song ended up getting like 40 million views on YouTube, and
yeah, and like
crazy.
let's like before we call it goofy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if we're 16 or we're 21 or I'm 44, right? If we're being, mean adults to a 12-year-old,
Yeah.
calling it goofy because we're adults. And now you may not do that song now.
Yeah.
Because you're grown, but it's pretty cool at 12 to make a song and have it be received like that and have 40 million views. And so I just want to like point that out before you throw shade at your younger self, because
yeah.
ultimately I think like I listen to all of this and I'm just like receiving all of it because I think you're still incredibly young to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I think like you should get a lot of credit.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that you won't look back at your yearbook pictures, right? And go like, damn, I wish I would have wore a different shirt. Well, 21-year-old, of course, is going to wish you'd worn a different shirt.
Yeah, of course.
But
I mean,
14-year-old is doing his best and living his best life. And so like I always reflect on, but I started my band when I was 15. And from 15 to 22, I was just figuring out who I was. So there's definitely pictures of me that we could like put up and I could tell you that, God damn, that's embarrassing. I wish I would have, I wish someone would have told me.
Yeah.
But then I think about it, I'm like, that's just me being mean to myself because I'm embarrassed or I'm worried that someone's going to like criticize it or whatever. And I really should be like, damn, I'm proud of those guys. They came from nothing and they were just like putting on their best outfit at the time and making shit that made them feel good and trying to put good things into the world, right?
Yeah.
But I think we live in a harsh environment.
For sure.
Full of a bunch of adults that don't have better things to do than probably like criticize what you kids are doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think like things like that too, like it definitely like builds, it builds character. Like looking at yourself like back then or like even now looking at myself, it feels like I always put it in like the weirdest way, but I've been in this industry for like so long, it feels like, for like almost like 7 years, you know what I mean? And I'm only 16, but mentally I feel like I'm 25 because like at 13 I was having like label meetings with label executives at some of the biggest record companies. So like,
so one of the things I was thinking about on the way here was how the fuck does a fucking 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, now 16-year-old make sense of this fucking really fun, exciting business in some parts, right? That's why you got into it.
Yeah.
You want to like skate the skate park. It's fun. But then it's also a really like grown ass, cynical, heavy world in other ways. And you're doing things that 25-year-olds are trying to do at 16.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to, I'm sure, cause emotions around, right? There's going to be, I understand more from maybe like positive and negative, right? You're going to have people your own age, that's different. But like you're going to have people that are older than you that are trying to essentially do the same thing you're doing.
For 100%.
You're going to have to like receive that energy from people you don't even know. And I wonder how a 16-year-old who's obviously got an adult life's worth of experience already.
Yeah.
How do you manage and deal with making sense of all of that kind of?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to figure out at first, but I think for me, what works for me is just like making sure I also have time to be a teenager and like like go hang out with friends when I'm on my free days, or like, if I get all my work done in a day, I'll go mess around, I'll go to the beach, or I'll go hang out with this person or this person, like making sure that like I'm still keeping like a solid social life. And I'm still like, I live in with all my whole family, like my dad, my mom, my brother.
So you all live together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So like, obviously I still like am a normal human at home. Like
you
just
still
like
answer to
else.
Someone at home.
Yeah. Like I still like do my dishes after I clean. I still like, I do laundry. Like I'm a normal person at the end of the day. Is like, as much as like this industry can be challenging, I feel like being so young and being in this industry and trying to be a normal human can also be challenging, which is something that I later came to find out, because from like 13 to probably like recently like 15, maybe like 12 to 14, crazy young ages, I was just like a workaholic. Like I was just go, go, go. And I just like, you get so lost in yourself and you're just like, you kind of have to take a step back and realize, okay, wait, let's not forget like who I am.
Yeah.
Let me like make sure that I can remember who I am as a person and still go out and have fun and make sure I'm not wasting my youth, because I don't want to look back when I'm in my 20s and be like, man, I wish I lived like, I wish I did some teenage shit. Like, you know, I wish I would have done something like cool like that. So it's important for me to like make sure I still like make time for my friends, family, make time for like my social life and do all that stuff on the side.
Did you finish school?
Yeah, I'm still in school actually. I'm hoping to graduate this year. I'm homeschooled right now.
Graduate early?
Yeah, I stopped going to public school in 6th grade. First grade of middle school, I think. And been homeschooling ever since. Because I think in 6th grade is when like I had like 30,000 subscribers and like I was the only kid in school who.
How many subscribers do you have now?
6.4 million.
That's a lot of subscribers.
Yeah, that's a lot of subscribers for sure.
And your mom is like, would you say she's the main force behind everything?
Yeah,
that's
100%. My mom is like, she's always been there from day one. I remember all like how it all started is like, I was in a Chick-fil-A drive-thru with my mom. She took me, and we were just having a conversation. I was like, Mom, I wanna be a singer. I was like, I wanna be like a singer. I wanna do this and that. I really wanna do this. And she was like, you know, most people like you think like, you know, if you're like 10 years old telling this to your mom, or 11, you think like the average response would be like, you're funny. All right, what do you do your homework later today? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're not from an entertainment family.
Yes, but like my parents have always been super, super supportive of like every single thing I've ever done. So her immediate response was like, all right, let's do it. Let's figure something out.
That's cool.
Let's try to do it. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. So like my mom is definitely, obviously she's been with me through every step of the way, but like she's really helped me like navigate through life and just like figure out situations that maybe I don't know the answer to, or things that like I just like couldn't do simply without her. And it's definitely good still having her like closely by my side, and especially managing my career. So like maybe she sees something that I don't in somebody. Yeah. She can be like, oh, well, this person's not good for you. And this is a lot of the time she'll like make decisions. Like sometimes she'll make decisions for me. I'll be like, why are you doing that? Like this and that. She'll be like, just trust me. Later on, you'll thank me. And then a year later, I'm always like, oh, thank God you did this, because like, and she's like, yeah, I told you. So like, she always has like the right intuition. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's just living life for a longer period of time. You get kind of a gut on things sometimes that like, I'm the same. I'll tell my kids like, watch out for that. Yeah. And you're usually right. Sometimes you got to learn on your own.
Oh yeah, 100%.
In some scenarios, you're going through your life. There's going to be lessons you have to learn from life. But then there's lessons if you can get information from your parents that's valuable, that helps you avoid some potholes, some landmines. You get those sometimes, and they do really help. Yeah. But some shit you just got to learn because you're young and you're like, I don't care. I'm gonna go figure this one out. And then
I agree. Especially like with my social life. Like if I go talk to if I'm like talking to a girl or something, or like me and my homeboy are like having an argument or something, like she's just like, I'll let you figure that out, because like that's something you need to figure out. Yeah. That's gonna like those are things that like a human needs to figure out by themselves and make mistakes so they cannot make them again. Like, oh, if I'm, talking to this girl and she did me dirty, or like this and that, like this happened. It's like, all right, well now I've learned that, and like I'm grateful I did, because now I know next time going into, let's say, another relationship, I know what to look for and this and that. And so like those are good things and all, but I think it's super important, like having her around and always keeping me like in check, or like sometimes when I'm like not like on my grind, or like doing what I need to be doing. And it's like, it's not because like I don't want to ever. It's just because like I'm 16 and like there's so many distractions around me. Like I'm always constantly being pulled left and right because of like certain things, like, oh, like, cause I still have like a social life and I still got like friends I like to hang out with. So sometimes she'll be like, hey, like you can go do this, but I mean, I would suggest like you get what you need done first, so then you don't have to worry about it later, and you can just go have fun. And I'm like, oh, you're right. And then I do it, and then it always ends up working out better for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.